Or we found you.
Wow. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
We're excited! We're excited! We're excited!
Shh. To talk about dementia. Well, hi.
Hi. I'm Dangle.
And I'm Dot, and together
We
dare to do dementia differently.
Yes.
And we think you can too. And that's why we're having this podcast, the show.
Yes.
What else is possible?
You know, anything is possible if you're just a little curious.
Being curious, asking another question. So let's go with you, Dangle, aka Nancy Nelson.
That's it. Yes. I began this journey. My dad had passed in 2002. But I kept living my life like the most of us do. That's a poet, huh? And so I was curious because things were happening to me.
Yeah, you were here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Driving along streets.
I was. And I couldn't get from point A to point B. And it was just the craziest thing because for years, 20 years, 30 years, I had been going up and down these streets, and then all of a sudden they just evaporated.
Evaporated.
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been frightening.
Yes. And have you had that happen to you? Right? And so one day I said, hey, you know what, girls, let's go and let's just.
Your daughters.
My
you wanted
daughters, yeah.
To
Yeah.
find out what was going on.
Exactly. Knock, knock, doctor. What is going on? And my primary care said, yes, you should see a neurologist. And then, yes, you should see. And I went to 4 different doctors after I'd heard yes. And so that was with a diagnosis of early onset Alzheimer's. That has been over 12 years ago.
I think maybe even 13 now.
Maybe even 13.
Wow. And at that time you were working?
I living life good. I mean,
Right.
you know, I was just going, but I would have these incidents. I would miss appointments. Somebody would call me and say, hey, are you coming? My stomach would hit the floor, and it was just unbelievable, the angst that I had.
Sure.
I missed an appointment, and I was one of those people that was always someplace on time, and people could come to me and ask me questions, and I would have the answers, and suddenly I didn't have as many answers as I used to have.
Wow. So you have a great story about being at a neurologist's office and a very long, prolonged waiting period at the doctor's office, which I'm sure we all can relate to.
We all have these kinds of stories, I'm sure. Yeah, I did. We sat in that doctor's office over 2 hours, my youngest daughter and myself, Jennifer, and they had it lined up all the way around the room, if you can believe, chairs, and somebody in each chair. And it became noontime, and suddenly you had that whiff of pizza, warm pizza.
The staff was eating.
Yeah, the staff was doing good, and we out in this long waiting room were like thirsty. We were, hungry, and I was a little disgruntled. And I think we all get tired of just waiting and waiting.
You almost left.
I did. Almost left. About the time I was really ready to get up and say, they said, please come in. Wow. Okay, I will. I got that is the day that I got the diagnosis of early onset Alzheimer's. And with a very short, any kind of explanation for it. It was, here is your medications and come back in 6 months.
That's it.
Daughter,
caregiver doesn't get anything, right?
No. And Jen and I were high-fiving one another in the doctor's office, in the little cubby, in the small office in the back. We were, we got this. And when that doctor turned around and said, you have early onset Alzheimer's, here's your medication, come back in 6 months.
That's it.
My mouth dropped.
For sure.
My mouth dropped.
And what a unfulfilling,
Right.
experience.
Yes, it was.
Like just a cold, hard,
Yes.
gut punch.
Yes.
And so that night, you went home and you had to process, the label. I've just been
Yes.
given this.
There's a difference between thinking you might have something and then actually having it,
hearing it.
and then hearing it, and then luckily I became aware of it. I didn't ingest it, and I think there's a difference in that. If we're going to own something that might not be so good when it's a diagnosis,
Yeah.
and so I've been very careful not to do that. So it was a diagnosis. I've never said that I have. I just say that I've been diagnosed.
Yeah.
4 years after that, I was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment. So of course that's a better diagnosis. Nothing really changed inside of me.
Right.
But that is, if you're going to title me, and please don't, I'm entitled mild cognitive impairment. And again, I've just lived through. I really never, I know it's out there, and I work within it, and I volunteer, and I dearly care whether you take a minute and maybe rethink if you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah. So this is what our podcast, our show is really about, are kind of some new approaches that Nancy has learned, and accepting that this came to her. But now, what do we do with it? And then on my side, I'm Dot, Kat Hartley. I first met the face of what we call dementia when I was 6, and my dad and granddad were traveling. Actually, my dad and I went to a train station to pick up my dad and my grandma. My grandfather gets the train, and I'm a little kid looking for gifts and a big hug. And my grandfather did not look so happy, and then looked at my dad and said, Sonny boy, I don't know where I am. And my dad was perplexed and confused by that question. He said, Dad, you're home. And that began my family's journey with Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia that never got diagnosed, honestly.
How many is that?
Yeah, so with 8 family members, essentially.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
8 family members.
My grandfather was 58 when he asked that question. So I've lost one after another.
Let me give you.
I know. So as that family caregiver, I want to share how this experience has changed my life. By force.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Yes.
And then how this show is about. How can we see it differently, Nancy? So when you got your diagnosis, what happened overnight?
All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, it was dark, it was cold, it was blowing outside, and all of a sudden I woke up in a black room, and my words were coming to me from the sky above. It was just, and I've never had anything like that happen to me. Those words were just pelted down. I got a writing pad, and I wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote. And each morning, sometime between 3:30 in the morning and 5:30 in the morning, these words were just tumbling, pen to paper.
Wow.
And it was a way. How many of you have journaled? Right?
Yeah, journal.
It's a way of journaling. And it helped me to construct in my mind, hey, what is the best thing that I do? A diagnosis is just a diagnosis. And, if a person is diagnosed with dementia, it's one person that's been diagnosed with it. So there's so many varying, as you well know. So from that, I have published 3 poetry books, my journey along the way, and what I have found that has worked for me and helped me, and I hope I hope and wish and pray that it helps you also.
Yeah. So, for Nancy to suddenly get something from deeper inside of
Yes,
you or
absolutely.
from the skies above, as you say,
Yeah.
to express
Hmm.
in a new way, in a creative way, those hard feelings you have to process
Hmm.
when a diagnosis or you suddenly are a family caregiver. These tough emotions are part of the journey.
And they were tougher than I thought they might be. That was kind of the thing. My dad had passed, and I had kind of I didn't know anything about Alzheimer's. We didn't live anywhere close to one another when he was diagnosed, and passed a few years after that. So um, I was going by the seat of my pants because I hadn't gotten much from the doctors.
Right. And so Nancy is so cute. She always says, I had to pull up my
big girl panties and take a look. And so these words that were coming to me helped me dissect that. And in a very poignant way, because I'm poignant.
Yes, as you are. And we're going to let Nancy read her first poem here in just a minute. But I want to say, too, like back over on the caregiver side, you want to find it? On the caregiving side, you're in a new world also. You're probably laughing along thinking your life is going to be like this. And then suddenly there's changes in a loved one that you're noticing. Maybe you even want to deny it.
Yeah.
Not really deal with it. But it is a journey that you're going to take together with a loved one. And the sooner I felt that you can get some acceptance, like you and your daughters did, hey, we got to take a step and go forward.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want you to think about that right now, just taking a step, because a big part of how we've done so well is that we have taken action. Nancy took action. And right now, we're going to have a commercial break where someone takes action to help sponsor our mission here.
If you want attention, you need more than an ad. You need a presence. Welcome to WWDBTV, your internet streaming TV station built for business and people. We create high-impact commercials and video podcasts with pro production. Then we help distribute your show where audiences already watch and listen. Your brand, your story. Broadcast ready. On streaming, on social, and beyond. Ready to be seen? Visit WWDBTV.com and book your production today.
Well, we want to share now a beautiful poem, the very first poem that Nancy tumbled down from the sky.
My very first one.
And see how we can start understanding that when we get these things, maybe new concepts, new creativity arises.
And when I decided that I would read this poem, I was at a business meeting, and I thought, I'm just going to try this poem out on them, right? And so I was surprised at the feelings after. So the name of this poem is Blue River Apple. It is the very first poem I wrote, and it came from the heart, and I couldn't believe that I could write something like this. Today's journey: develop courage, splash on a smile, be who I want to be, not afraid of who I am becoming. Awake at night, fearful of forgetting important and precious things, like people, dates, times, appointments. I am not in control. Please help me, God. Thoughts jumble, words disappear. Times mix up, promises go astray. When I hear, where are you? Are you coming? Eyes water, stomach churns. I'm humbled in disbelief. I know I have done it again. Do I stay home, cancel, quit? Or fight for rite of passage through the fog? Silently I say, I am not what I appear. I'm sorry for what you see. Breathe in courage, splash on a smile, struggle to remember. I must find pieces of myself and revel in who I know I am. Chin up, treading lightly in new, uncharted waters. At times I catch sideways glances, back and forth. Perhaps even your voice, impatient. I understand. But wait, we stand together, only separate. Can you hear me? I have so much to tell you. On the sliding scale of blue, river, apple. I want to be positive. I have so much to say. I am productive. I am loving and beloved. On this sliding scale of blue, river, apple.
Wow. Every time I hear that poem, and I've heard it a lot,
I bet.
it really hits the mark, Nancy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know, I can look at poems that I've written and don't even remember that I wrote the poem.
You don't remember
I
you
don't.
wrote the poem?
No.
And that's
What's
something.
that? Yeah.
And then I think our listeners are curious as to why you named it Blue River Apple.
Well,
I think it's a good story.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you go in, or maybe you don't know, when you go into a doctor's office and they give you a test to help decide whether your memory is fading or not fading, or the first letters were Blue River Apple, and I couldn't remember them. And
Those words they give you.
Yeah. Those were the 3 words that they gave me. Now, sometimes they give you 5 words. Somebody said they gave them 7 words. I said, well, does anyone get that? But at any rate, I had 3, and I stumbled. But yeah, so that was the name. And I'm thinking that maybe I'll never forget them.
No, she never. They're set in stone.
Yeah. And
or
then,
on paper.
yes, I have a first one is Blue River Apple, and a second Harvest, and this one is the third Harvest, the book that we're showing you.
Yes. Yeah. And what a journey. So, here we go from someone in a career working, and then boom, you get this diagnosis. And you always say, well, I really wasn't, on the day before and the day after, right? That demarcation line. And then this comes barreling down into your world.
Yeah.
And you took the bait. Didn't you? You took the little nudge from greater powers to follow this. You were not a poet before.
Oh, no. And you know what? I don't know what has driven me, but I have a drive that is so real. I want it to be easier for you. I want it to be something that we don't fear, that we turn around and that we look at it. And I've never feared it. I have turned around and look at it. And I say all the time, and we say, if we can do this, so can you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think in that poem too, though, you wrote about sideways glances. People do treat you differently.
Oh my gosh.
And so you mentioned earlier that you had read this poem to a business group that you had been associated with. I think it's a very powerful story for people to hear how people responded when you let the news out that you had been diagnosed.
Right. Yeah, right. I was even surprised. I mean, I didn't expect it. So a room of maybe 40 people, and I'd been going there for 3 or 4 years, so we knew of one another and whatever. I read the poem just like I did today, and dead silence. It was so still you could hear a penny drop on the carpet. And I just looked out And then it was a minute before someone else began to speak. And, excuse me, and as the meeting ended, as it ended a little later, they quietly saddled out the side door and the other door, and it was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much to expect people that maybe didn't ever have any contact with it. Well, I hadn't had much myself, but so about the eyes, rolling and people having a funny face and all of that and it happens. It
Today.
happens. Yeah, it happens.
It's still
today.
today's, and sometimes to be honest, like on the care partner side, and we'll get to that. Nancy and I are not family. We are friends. We were divinely connected, but we'll go to that story at some other time. I have found my own self, even in this partnership, doing some of those things you mentioned in the poem. And so then there's the quick thing, oh gosh, I feel guilty because I did that.
Yeah.
But we're all learning
We're
together.
all learning. And
Right.
telling this story is not about woe is me.
Making people feel bad for their behavior. It's
Right.
just starting to understand
Yes.
our human reactions to our concept.
Perception.
Like even, I know there's a time or a place or how they acted that dementia is contagious. People just want to get out of the room in case I get it.
Yeah. And it isn't the other person's fault. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We want to make this an everyday humanity filled, it's okay kind of thing, because we can do better.
You, us, we're all human beings, and we're having this experience, an experience of a changing brain, of what life looks like with a changing brain. From a family care partnering thing, all the experiences that happen when suddenly there's a change in a relationship, change in needs. And this is what we're so excited.
Because if we can share with you and you can say, hey, right? And if my experience with a care partner I can learn about them, they can learn about me. Then we have an understanding that says, wow, we can get through some of this tumble that goes on.
Can shift our original narrative of what we thought it was going to be like, and perhaps discover new things, poetry, creativity.
Right.
I promise you, if you find yourself in the care partnering, I like to call it, you're going to have to discover patience.
We've been talking a lot about it, and she's very patient, but
it takes it, not always.
But it catches you.
And then when you're not, is what we're going to talk about. Right. Tips, ways, but just already this is a human experience that lots of people are having. How can we allow this? Okay, this thing has come into our life. It is difficult. It is different, right, Nancy?
I think that if you can look at it as not less for yourself or for the other person, just simply continue eye contact, continue a nice smile. If you can act the way that you acted before you knew that something was cognitively changing.
Yeah. And a caregiver tip is we care because we want to sprinkle these in. Actually just sitting beside Nancy in a more casual way is a much better stance than standing up to her and saying, oh, did you remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we do want to share. We have so much lived experience. We have wonderful resources, people that we think are doing a grand job.
Absolutely.
In this space.
And so join us weekly. We're going to be here. Join us because we want to share and make your life easier.
Yes. So what's the number one thing we always tell people to first do is to move. Move our body.
Move.
Oh, so let's everybody together. We hope the whole world is watching this right now, but you're in the comfort of
Stretch.
your room.
Stretch.
You want to stretch something. You know, one of the
Gotta
things,
move.
I know. And then let's let go. Can we let go of something
Give
that's
it
no
away.
longer
Give it away.
serving
Give it
us? A thought, a belief. We don't
Now
need-
you're feeling funny. Don't feel funny.
feel good.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy. So my background is in pharmacy, and then I worked at the FDA, and then I worked at Cleveland Clinic, Nevada.
I'm
and-
rubbing against her.
No, and so I was very interested in science and our brain and, drugs that made your brain do certain things. But now it's so interesting to see how we can naturally make our body feel better by itself.
And
And
that's
brain?
something that we can do, just standing right where
Yes.
you are, seated where you are.
And Nancy and I have discovered when we're present together and when we use humor, movement, it lightens the
room.
moment,
Mhm.
right, Nancy?
It does.
And then you might see another possibility.
That's right. When you're if we look at what we're accomplishing and not what we don't accomplish.
Oh, thank you. That's a big point.
That's a huge one. And we all do it to ourselves.
We
right?
do, and we do it to our loved ones.
We do.
We go down the list of what they're
oh,
not
you
doing.
didn't do this today and
They
this today.
didn't, and gosh, 50 years ago they did this to me. We're going to talk about that stuff. It's
So,
gotta go.
Try it. Just try it. Think today. What have you done? Did you walk the dog? Did you make breakfast for someone? Did you have a cup of coffee and go outside and enjoy the birds? I mean, there are so many things that we can do to help us feel
Lift a little lighter.
Yes, the diagnosis is still there.
Yes.
Yes, maybe you don't know and you don't want to know. We hope to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times you suffer with thinking something that you have and you don't have it at all. So
Right.
don't do that.
Yeah. Like, have you ever worried about something in
Sure.
the future? And then that never
That
happens.
never happens.
Some other scenario happens.
Mhm. Yes.
But that day spent worrying,
yes.
it was a rocking chair, I think, analogy where we rock back and forth. We're using a lot of energy. But we don't travel forward in
Yeah.
any motion.
No, we're not moving far.
Not moving far. So we also want to just Dangle and Dot. How did we come together? Yeah.
This is a good story.
I call it divine intervention.
Yeah.
I'm into synchronicity
Yeah,
and
we
people colliding.
Bumping into one another.
We were both advocating for the Alzheimer's Association. I would go to Capitol Hill and tell our Congress people we need more funding and research. Nancy, she was the bright star, newly diagnosed, writing books, Nevada Senior Citizen of the Year. So she was always asked to speak, and then I was asked to speak on different things. People kept putting us together. Till we were
But that was wonderful.
I remember hearing you speak, and I was like, I want to be like her. She is incredible.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. I'm humbled.
And-
I'm humbled.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So one day, it was at the Cleveland Clinic.
Mhm.
We were at a community event, and literally in this beautiful Frank Gehry designed building, there's a courtyard. You must see it. Literally, Nancy comes running up, and she's all very excited.
In a flurry.
And a flurry, and it was during when the ALS challenge was going on viral. Nancy says, we have to do something that makes
gets
people attention. And
Yeah.
she's holding her ears. She says, I wear these different earrings, right?
Mhm.
Can't find one.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked
Tired of only wearing one. So
one's broken, one's lost. And you put different ones on, and then your
Yeah.
daughters would kind of go,
Mom.
Mom.
Do you know you've lost an earring?
Yeah.
Yes, honey.
I got
do.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Nancy we gotta say some silent tribute to people living with
They
dementia.
can't speak for themselves,
So,
perhaps.
And then
or-
I'm very focused on the care the journey of the family caregiver,
Yes.
where they end up sick. The statistics around that is
Huge.
they can be sick and die, I hate to say that, before their loved one.
I know.
So
So you
it
have
is
to take self-care is important.
and it's a dual journey.
It is a dual journey.
So Dangle
Isn't
and
just for women.
Dot.
So the earrings, we have a dangle. Bet you wonder who Dangle is.
With one with, you coined it, the one with the tangles.
Yes. And then the dot is one that is securely fastened over
And
here.
Rock solid circle.
Rock solid.
Going to lead you through with safety and compassion.
That's right.
And we're going to do this together. So that's where we call ourselves a care pair, that two people are having a journey.
Yes.
And
Nobody raised their hand for it, by the way.
no, but we're going to learn together.
And we're going to learn how to do it better for both.
Better for both, and respect that you are two different individuals.
Mhm.
You are experiencing different things.
And you know, and I'm just going to go off on a flyer here for a minute.
Go, girl.
My daughter had a brain injury, and I was taking care of her during this last 3 years a little bit. And let me tell you something. You know, when you're doing all you can for somebody, and they don't realize it, and they can't grasp it, and they talk to you in a different way, you look at them and say, "Really? Are you really doing that? Are you really
Mhm.
talking to me that way?" And you don't know that until it hits you. And
Yeah.
so thank you for all that you do.
Yes.
I
Well,
mean
and the last path.
I mean that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I learned as a care partner that my best role is first, honestly, is myself. And it sounds selfish, and we don't do it. And I have not done it for the longest time. But when I realize my caregiving journey starts on the inside, if I can be peaceful, if I can be compassionate to myself, then I can be compassionate to my loved one. So I do want to spend some of these shows
Yes.
saying, how do we cultivate that on our inside? So we give that
That's
on
right.
the outside. And what is happening a lot is we're expecting our loved one to behave or do in a manner that makes us okay.
Yeah.
But it's a reverse way. I got to make myself okay before I interact. And this is where the work is.
Yes. Yes.
It's not easy. Because I feel if you can hold up a mirror to how beautiful your loved one is, what you thinking, Nancy? Of how beautiful, I'm going to hold the placeholder of what a beautiful human being you are.
Oh,
No matter what may be happening to the brain, to the body.
mhm. It's such a hard connection, though, isn't it?
It is.
To expect the other the other person, the outsider, the other, to understand what's happening to that brain that makes somebody
Oh,
not have the respect and the dignity
yeah.
that they used to have, and all the while, all this from an inside, it's going away. My memory. She told me 2 things this morning, and I've asked her 4 times.
Okay.
That gets frustrating
Yeah.
for the person that's having to listen. Dear caregiver, I know that.
Mhm.
Truly. I mean, I know it. But we do the best, most of us do the best we can.
Mm-hmm. And to the caregivers, I want to explore in these series that you can, if you can find peace in the backdrop of your loved one's cognitive changes, this is going to carry over into the rest of your life.
You are a winner.
That you're going to discover empathy, compassion, patience for all of life.
Yes. It fits in everywhere, actually.
And then I discovered when I shifted my inner state, if you will, and there's where
Tell
the
them
work
that
is.
story.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you and your mom.
That
Yeah.
my loved one changed the interaction completely
Mhm.
changed when I committed
Mhm.
to my change. My mom, it's just real.
This is a funny story.
Yeah. Real quick, I have been the last 5 years caring for 2 family members, a special, what they label special needs, but I think he's a special gift brother who had cognitive disabilities from birth, complicated by stroke and seizures, living with me, along with my mom, who was aging and having a lot of mental health and also dementia of related symptoms at the end of life, under one roof, one caregiver, 2 people. I'm single, and it's a lot.
It is a lot.
So I
It is
called
a
this
lot.
the cat's master class, caregiving, having 2 people, different needs. But I did discover if I was the center of the storm, if I was more compassionate, if I worked on my patience, if I worked on my inner peace, the day went so much smoother, because I had many years of coming with frustration, overwhelm, anger, a lot. So one day, I think I got it mastered from sunrise to sunset, enough that anytime my mom and I interacted, I was in a place of peace, of compassion, interacted with her in a way that allowed her to ask her needs. I would respond in the most caring way to myself and to her.
Mhm.
A soft no is also a good thing.
Mhm.
So much so that we interacted. We had the nicest day. It seemed like beautiful music was playing. I almost was like dancing in the hall, delivering her food. So much so at the end of the day, my mom was an assistant, a secretary, and she looked at me down her glasses and she goes, "Now, what's your name? Are you a new caregiver here?" Oh my gosh, she had not met me.
Yeah.
And that's true.
I know.
She had not met me in a full state of compassion and grace. But I'm going to say that journey for me to be there all day long is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah, it's very fun. So I know we have so much to share, Nancy. We have a lot on our website.
Mhm.
Yes, WWDBTV.com. We believe that we're here with a real purpose.
We do. We do believe that. And
We do.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and on our website, we did write a book, Dare to Do Dementia Differently, where we think it's a really great book for if you're suspecting a loved one has something, you're at the beginning of the journey. It has wonderful resources. It's kind of the first things we believe you should take action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can take action and find out, and the answer could be no, that you don't have it. Hallelujah.
Yeah, we have a story in the book where somebody for 2 years, the family thought the guy had it, the dad had it.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? The doctor said, no. He had a noisy environment that was disturbing his ability.
He needed something more quiet.
Quiet.
And and it's all about walking into a room, isn't it? And you're so busy that you don't see this and you don't see that, and it's about surveying, maybe.
Yeah.
Being still sometimes.
Being still is huge in this space. Let's see, what did I want to say, Nancy? I heard you say something. Oh, I know for our viewers, and everywhere we go, we speak and we go around and try to share some lightness to this dark subject. People really, they whisper in my ear. People have asked you out front, well, you don't seem like you have it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit, Nancy.
One of the first times I went out in public after I'd gotten a couple of the diagnoses, and I went to an Alzheimer's function, and there were tables around the room. And so I went around the room and picked pamphlets and all of that. And I had 2 or 3 people say to me, "You must be high functioning." I went home from that experience and said to somebody, "Hey, what does it mean to be high functioning?"
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Am I a genius? Or what is it?
I'll take that.
We'll take that.
I'll take that. Yeah. So, I don't know how I was fortunate enough, how I've been fortunate enough to hear the diagnosis, to work through it as best one can each and every day. I do believe that it's being opened. I do believe that I put the fear aside. Let's find out, right? Early diagnosis. Let's find out about it. And then we'll take the next step. But if you think or feel or see someone and you're just percolating in that arena, you really, need to think about getting off that place. Because it doesn't do you any good either way, whether you do have it or you don't have it.
And that is a natural reaction to things we fear.
That's right.
We
Absolutely
either we're
is.
going to fight somebody who brings it up.
True.
We hear a lot of those stories.
Yes.
Well, my dad gets so mad if we even bring it up, right?
Yeah.
Fight, flight. We're going to avoid it at all costs, right? Freeze, where you just know
Don't
something's
know what
going
to do.
on, but you're stuck.
Yeah.
But staying stuck is, to me, I don't know, not a good place.
No.
You really need to take a step and be willing.
Just a baby step.
Just
a baby step. And so easy. You could be right here and watch us on the camera, and you don't have to participate if you don't want. Maybe you'll hear something that'll tweak you a little bit.
Yeah.
Make you feel a little better. Gosh, we're hoping that you feel better after hearing.
And part of
There is hope.
Yeah, well, and
There
part
is
of it is we're here to scramble up the perception
Yes.
of dementia and that tragedy narrative that keeps people in a fearful space. We've been doing YouTube videos, and it's always a delight to me to hear someone who's like in my shoes going to care for a parent, that they show their parent Nancy, right? This is also an example of somebody who's been diagnosed, and she's still enjoying grandkids and writing and partaking in social events. But I know you, again, I'm going to go back. You do have difficulty.
I do have difficulties.
doing things that you didn't do before.
I mean, I'm somebody told me one time, you're a tightly wrapped package. And it is sort of coming unbowed, if you know what I mean. I mean, there's lots of things. You don't know what it takes me to get here this morning, or that that if I'm alone, I wasn't. I have a chauffeur now,
I enjoy that.
It's so wonderful. There are benefits. Hey, there's benefits. There is benefits to where you are. We take the benefits and we go with them.
Yes. So we encourage you to be curious.
So I forgot what I was going to, excuse me.
Yeah,
No, I forgot what I was going to say right there. It is okay. I now say to people, gosh, I'm sorry. Can you catch me up? I lost the thought. Or I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. It is okay. It took me a while, because you're losing part of yourselves when some of that happens.
Yeah, that was a thing that you valued in your working world, to know names and now you're okay.
I think I remember them.
I forgot. What's their name? It's okay. It's okay. Can we make that okay?
Yeah, I give myself permission. Just like she gives herself permission along the caregiver way.
Right, to be mad at my loved ones. I can't believe how much I love them and can be angry at the same time. So we will talk about it. Yeah.
We hope you got something from
I know.
all of
We
this.
hope you'll keep coming back, and we're going to explore all sorts of pathways in a chit-chat, fun way. We also want to share resources. Eventually, we're going to have some great guests come join us.
Yes.
People that we're so grateful that have come into our lives and have made our life with dementia different, better,
Yes.
right? Through connection and hearing and listening.
So what is one thing or two things that you would say that have brought you joy in the times of your powerful caregiving? And if, she is a caregiver extraordinaire.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I know he is.
The biggest shift that I found was being open to my loved one that I'm caring for, no matter what physical or cognitive state they were in, what they were teaching me about me. And when you can shift that thought of completely caregiving can turn into takeover versus back to the partnership. Oh, my loved one is asking me to slow down. My loved one is showing me a new way to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest aha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just got better moment.
Yeah.
And I really hope people will even curiously start to think that way.
Mm-hmm. I think that the most, I really think, I say this all the time, that I'm grateful. I'm humbled by the ask of my giving up time, effort, and energy to a mission that we help educate and work through the dementia realm, the Alzheimer's world, because it has brought me really joy and better understanding of myself, but also I think we don't know how many fingers we touch. I don't think we know how many people hear. And that's what, if we can just get the message out that there is hope, things are changing, this is getting better.
It is.
But we have to think that, we have to feel that, we have to be that. And it's hard. I'm not saying it's not. We have some, as were saying, on all my days aren't bright and shiny.
No.
Some of them I just want to sit down and have a tear or two.
And that's okay too.
And, go for it. It's okay. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yes.
We're right here, right now.
We're here. And we just want to end this with really gratitude. Gratitude actually makes your whole body happier.
It does.
Looking around a room and finding something you're grateful for. Certainly a loved one, a person that you're grateful for, community members, friends. Friends sometimes can be
neighbors, work associates.
I don't know. I think we have everyday gratitude. Hey, the trash got picked up today.
Yeah.
I had a pillow to lay on. So we are really grateful. If you're still listening to us,
let us know.
We're all going to be good friends. So we ask you actually to write in the comments, maybe a topic you'd like to explore. Please visit our website, dangledot.com. We have our books. We have Nancy's beautiful poetry books there. You can sign up for our newsletter. We're all over social media. If you hadn't figured out, we're not shy about talking about all sorts of things. And we are in contact with some great resources that I think could make a difference in somebody's journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and visiting with us. Yay. Because we know you have other places you could go. Thank you.